Todd Kohlhepp shot Charlie Carver 3 times in the chest, wrapped him in a blue tarp, put him in the bucket of the tractor, locked me down here, and I never seen him again.
Knowing that she was living in that condition day in and day night is just horrific. To know that he could do that to another human being.
Investigators later found 3 bodies on Todd Kohlhepp's South Carolina property. He confessed to those murders, along with the shooting deaths of 4 others in 2003.
Kohlhepp's mom says he used scissors on a school bus to get back at a girl who made him mad.
I wasn't going to take a chance. So I locked him in his bedroom at night when he went to sleep, and I locked me in my bedroom.
From 2003 to 2016, Todd Kohlhepp has murdered 7 people. And what led to the discovery of these murders was the disappearance of Kayla Brown and Charlie Carver. After knowing each other for only a few months, Kayla and Charlie decided to move in with each other, and Kayla was able to get her and Charlie a job at Todd's real estate business. Kayla was cleaning houses, and one day Todd lured them to one of his properties in the middle of nowhere, thinking that they were going to be doing something work-related, and little did they know that was definitely not the case. Todd Kohlhepp shot Charlie 3 times in the chest and captured Kayla Brown holding her in this shipping container. August 31st of 2016 was the last time anyone has seen Kayla or Charlie. Even when authorities looked inside their home, everything was exactly where they left it, and no one knew what the hell happened to them. And then something weird happened. October 1st of 2016, someone started posting on Charlie's Facebook pretending to be Charlie. He was saying that they were fine and that they didn't want to see anyone. And then guys, a month later, after the police was tracking the couple's cell phone signals, their last signal location led them to Todd Kohlhepp's house in South Carolina. As the deputies were asking him questions, one female deputy thought she heard like a banging noise, so she kept walking closer to a 30-foot shipping container, and inside that container was Kayla Brown.
Right up on it. Get ready. Video it. Yes. Pull that one first. All right, let them get ready. Y'all ready? Come on, guys.
Sonny. This is bolt cutters. This is our investigator. He's a paramedic.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we're gonna get you out of there. Okay.
Just hang loose for me.
Anybody got? I need a handcuff key.
Do you know where your buddy is?
Charlie?
Yes.
He shot him.
He shot him.
Who did?
Todd Kohlhepp shot Charlie Carver 3 times in the chest, wrapped him in a blue tarp, put him in the bucket of the tractor, locked me down here, and I never seen him again.
Okay.
He says he's dead and buried. He says there's several bodies dead and buried out here, and he says that the dogs will be ruined if they go looking because there's red pepper.
We're gonna step you out, sweet. Because there's what?
Red pepper.
Kayla was chained from her neck, her ankles, her hands. She was held in this container for 2 months. Kayla stayed in this disgusting box all day except for 1 to 3 p.m. and 5 to 7 p.m. During these times throughout the day, Todd would then take Kayla out, bring Kayla to a 2-story garage on his property where Kayla would be forced to perform sexual acts. And he gave her, how nice of him to give her a small container of water to wash herself up, and she was only allowed to use the bathroom once. What was also interesting, other than the alleged post by Charlie, was that Todd's Facebook, he vaguely joked about Kayla's and Charlie's disappearance. He didn't say their name, but he was just like, everyone's disappearing here when they're really out doing something else. So that was also suspicious as well. When the deputies found Kayla Brown, they immediately arrested Todd on the scene.
This is where we're at, Mr. Kohlhepp. While we were here, all right, my sergeant served a search warrant on your property. Okay? We have Kayla. Excuse me? We have Kayla in your property. She was locked in a container. Okay? She has told us that you shot and killed Charlie. Okay, so at this time I'm going to need you to stand up and put your hands behind your back.
He's already handcuffed.
Okay. You're under arrest right now for kidnapping. All right. They're continue to search your property. They're going to continue. They got cadaver dogs down there. Okay. If you want to help yourself, tell me where Charlie's at, so we can go find his body. That's pretty much where we're at right now.
Okay.
Do you want to help yourself and tell me where the body's at so we can go recover Charlie's body?
No, sir.
You don't want to?
No, sir.
Okay. Why'd you shoot him?
I didn't shoot anybody, sir.
Okay, why'd you lock her in a container in your property?
I was talking
She's on your property right now, locked in a container. They just got her out of they called it a specific
Shipping
name.
container.
Connex box. She was locked in a container in a Connex box. They got her. We have investigators. We have like 20 investigators on your property right now.
Okay.
And they have found her in the Connex box. So she never left your property. Okay, you locked her in the Connex box, and she has told investigators that you shot and killed Charlie. Okay, so I'm trying to give you an opportunity to help yourself and help us, help you find this body. Because she's saying Charlie's body, you buried Charlie's body on that property.
No, sir.
So you're saying you didn't lock her up, you didn't put her in the Connex box or anything?
No, sir. I'm gonna need an attorney.
Probably a good thing. Go ahead and put him in the back of your car.
Sir.
Caleb Brown is one strong individual because the things he made her do. Not only what Kayla did was brave, but it was so smart. She did what she needed to do to stay alive. During interrogation, it was so disgusting to witness Todd enjoy telling the police officers, the story of all the crimes he's committed.
We now know the names and the faces of all 7 people who may have died at the hands of Todd Kohlhepp.
The coroner says they are Megan and Johnny Coxey, a married couple that had been missing from Spartanburg County for almost a year. Their bodies were dug up earlier this week after Kohlhepp showed investigators where to find their graves.
We signed 4 warrants on Todd Kohlhepp today with a confession that he did this crime.
The sheriff's office says he confessed to killing Chris Sherbert, Scott Ponder, Brian Lucas, and Beverly Guy.
Can't even imagine what the victims' families have been going through. I can't.
Those family members still in shock over the news from deputies that Todd Kohlhepp was a Superbike customer in 2003 and that he took away a chance for 4 people to see their loved ones again.
All this unraveling, 8 miles down the road and come out 13 years later that someone 10 miles up the road the other way, my brother was killed by the same person.
That he's been walking in our community all these years?
All these years.
During interrogation, Todd even goes on to say that Kayla really wanted it, that Kayla was dirty. Kayla, she would write him letters of wanting to seduce him and says he never forced her to do anything she didn't want to do.
Oh, there's a collar in there? That collar was Kayla's.
Neck collar?
Yeah, she had me order it.
She asked you to order it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We'll get to that in a minute.
I didn't use it, because after it came in the mail, I looked at it and went, oh.
Okay.
That's easy for me. It's a stainless steel collar with, hooks for putting, locks on it. I mean, dude, it's like having I don't treat my dogs that way.
Because you made this comment to me, sorry to interrupt, but you made this comment to me, and I believe you. You didn't do it.
She had me get her vibrator, the TV, the DVD player, the MP3 player, the coloring books.
Coloring books?
Adult coloring books.
Okay.
Dude, I didn't question. It got her to shut up. It got her to roll over.
So the next question is why? Why did Todd Kohlhepp do this?
And when he wanted something, he would push him down and go get it.
Kohlhepp's mom says he used scissors on a school bus to get back at a girl who made him mad.
He'd stabbed her in the leg. Not much. I mean, it didn't go deep.
When Todd Kohlhepp wanted a gerbil, he killed his goldfish.
I just let him have it about Cloroxing the goldfish. I said, what made you think you could do that?
What did he say?
He just looked at me, he said, I didn't want it anymore. He took a claw hammer to all his furniture and tore it up.
The new furniture?
Mm-hmm.
Did he threaten to kill you?
Yeah. He was tall enough and big enough that I wasn't going to take a chance. So I locked him in his bedroom at night when he went to sleep, and I locked me in my bedroom.
Todd Kohlhepp was born in 1971 in Florida. He didn't have the best relationship with his stepfather and always wanted to live with his biological father. And here's the red flag of it all. As a child, he was known not to only be extremely aggressive, but cruel to animals. In 1983, that's when Todd went to go live with his biological father in Arizona. Now, when he was 15 in 1986, he had a crush on a 14-year-old girl. So instead of like a normal teenager, I don't know, asking the girl out, oh, I like you, I have a crush on you, sending cards, whatever it is that the kids do these days, did Todd do this? Absolutely not. He lured her outside while she was watching her siblings, held her at gunpoint, forced her into his home, gagged her, and sexually assaulted her. After all of this occurred, he walked her home, threatened her, and told her, if you tell anyone, I'm going to kill your siblings. Now, luckily, this 14-year-old, she told her parents, and Todd was charged with kidnapping, sexual assault, on committing a dangerous crime against children. A year later, in 1987, he pled guilty to kidnapping and was sentenced to 15 years in prison. In prison, he was able to get a bachelor's degree in computer science. And in 2001, when he was out, he ended up moving back to South Carolina to live with his mother. The question still remains why. He went to prison, got a bachelor's degree, so you'd think everything's going smoothly. No, just 2 years later in 2003, he goes into a motorcycle shop. He bought a motorcycle, and I guess he didn't know how to ride. He sucked at it, wanted to return the motorcycle. The employees would not give him a refund. He wasn't happy with that. He went outside, came back in with his handgun, and shot all of the 4 employees. And the interesting thing about this is that none of the cops knew who the hell did it. Todd confessed to this crime when they found Kayla Brown on his property. To backpedal a little bit, after prison, Todd got his real estate license in 2006, of course lied about his criminal history on his application, and he had employees working for him. He literally built a business from the bottom up. He was also very open about being a sex offender, lied about how he got on the registry, but let's be real, he didn't have any other choice because he's on the registry. The reason why he's called the Amazon Review Killer is because between 2014 and 2016, Todd left over 140 Amazon reviews on items he bought to commit his crimes, like knives, shovels, guns, ropes, etc. He would leave comments like, I haven't stabbed anyone yet. These reviews were outrageous because he joked a lot, and who on earth would think that he was serious? And a part of him knew people weren't going to think he was serious. Many believe this was a way for him to really share with others what he did and get a kick out of it because he knew people wouldn't believe him and would receive his comments as a joke. And when police started questioning everyone Todd knew, his business partner thought he was strange, how he knew exactly where everyone lived, and even a Waffle House. This was a strange story here. So Todd used to go to this Waffle House all the time, and the waitresses there, they felt very uncomfortable with his presence. These waitresses complained that Todd disturbed them. It was so bad that the male cook ended up having to always take his order. And like, dear Waffle House, for a second, if A customer is so disturbing to where the male cook has to take that person's order, then maybe, just maybe, ban the dude. And one of these waitresses at the Waffle House that found him disturbing was Megan McCraw Coxey, and she was found dead with her husband Johnny Coxey on his property. And when asking why did he do this, one would have to think that he has this mindset that, well, if I can't have her, well then he's not gonna have her either. While in interrogation, Todd confessed to the murders of these two, confessed to the motorcycle killings, and on his property, authorities found weapons that Todd illegally obtained. Todd claims that there's many more individuals that he has killed, but wants to keep those details to himself. In May of 2003, there was a triple homicide at a bank, and authorities believe that Todd had something to do with that. In 2017, Todd wrote a letter to his local newspaper stating that there were more bodies, but he was blown off by investigators. And it wasn't until August 20th of 2018 that's when investigators took him seriously. He told them that there was 2 bodies and he can show them where they're at. Long story short, investigators never found these 2 bodies, and a lot of people believe that Todd just wanted to play games with them, and Todd wanted this legacy or this story going for him that I've killed more and they'll never know where the rest of the bodies are, when it's very possible that he probably told them everything. Now, it is worth noting that Todd is an amateur pilot, so it's possible that he has dumped bodies all over the US. For all of his crimes, Todd was able to avoid the death penalty. He was sentenced to 7 consecutive life sentences with an additional 30 years for sexual assault and another 30 years for kidnapping. He was basically sentenced to prison for life, and I know why. The justice system, they do the whole years and years because it's really out of respect for the people who he murdered. But Todd is not going anywhere anytime soon. I know if we all jumped inside of Todd Kohlhepp's head, we'd all lose our minds and go batshit crazy. Although it's so hard to wrap our minds around these horrific events, like the stories we see, we witness, the cases we hear about on the news, there's just gonna be moments where we sit there and our eyes are like glued to the TV, or we're just so bothered by the information that we're hearing. We can't believe someone would do something like this. There's just going to be cases where we sit there and we ask ourselves, why?